I have two professional translator. They can do it better than I. And I come from small country, Slovenia. Only 2 million people, really very small country. And I want that you can hear the melody of my language. For me, each language is a poem, is a harmony, is something special, is the soul of the nation. Because of that, I want to speak in my language. Thank you. This is Slavic language. Veseli me, da ste prišli, da vas zanima tudi to, kar imam morda povedati. Kaj bom povedala, ne vem.
I'm happy that you have come and that you're interested in what I have to say, but I don't know what I will say. I don't know yet.
Že razmišljam v angleščini, oj.
I'm already thinking in English.
It depends of you, I want to say.
It depends on you what I will say, yeah.
Ja, to se pravi od tega, kar boste razmišljali.
What I will say will depend on what you will be thinking.
No, Andra je profesionalni prevajalec in prevaja moje knjige, zato zelo dobro pozna vse morda zakomplicirane besede.
Andra, me, I'm a professional translator and I'm translating Mirit's books, so I can perhaps know all the more complicated words.
In tam je Nives, tudi profesorica italijanščine z naše univerze, ki vam bo prevajala v italijanščino.
And there is Nives at the back. She will translate into Italian. She is professor of Italian language.
Ja, na Ljubljanski univerzi.
At the faculty of Ljubljana, of economy in Ljubljana.
Dobro. Lani sem po Skypu nakratko povedala svojo pot do prane, pravzaprav do drugačnega načina življenja, ki mi je povsem spremenil način razmišljanja.
Last year I talked via Skype about my life, my walk, my path of life, which took me to a breatharian lifestyle, to a different lifestyle.
No, a different way of thinking.
And also to a different way of thinking.
In moram povedati, sem v bistvu znanstvenica, umetnica, duhovna učiteljica, zdravilka, kirurginja, kozmična kirurginja.
I have to say that I am a scientist, a musician, a cosmic surgeon, an artist.
And spiritual teacher.
And a spiritual teacher.
And delujem v šoli, ki sem jo ustanovila v Sloveniji in se imenuje Veduna.
I work within Veduna School, which I founded in Slovenia.
Veliko delamo.
We work a lot there.
In tudi zelo podobno ime nosi naš ansambel Vedun, ki kanalizira, podobno kot jaz misli, kanalizira zvoke tega trenutka.
And a similar name carries our ensemble, Vedun. As similar as I channel thoughts, the ensemble channels sounds of the moment.
In na koncu tega predavanja bomo na kratko malo izigrali, ker menda nimate danes nobenega koncerta.
And at the end of my lecture we will play something very short for you, because I was told that there is no program at the end.
Več pa bomo zaigrali v sredo, ko bo tudi tako imenovana kozmična iniciacija.
But we will play more on Tuesday,
Yes.
On Tuesday, when there also will be a cosmic initiation.
Samo na kratko za tiste, ki niste poslušali intervjuja po Skypu lansko leto, kako se je vse skupaj začelo, potem pa bom predavala o temu načinu življenja skozi čas in prostor.
I will talk only briefly about how it all started with me, for those who did not see the lecture last year. And then I will continue talking about breatharianism and how it developed through time and space.
ko sem bila še čisto majhna, sem večkrat doživela prav posebne izkušnje. In te posebne izkušnje so bile zlivanje z vesoljem.
As a child, I often had special experiences. They were I was merging with the universe. I merged with the universe.
Pravzaprav sem se zlivala z vsem v okolju.
I merged with everything that was in the surroundings, in the environment.
But I couldn't understand. Sorry. To, da nisem razumela, kaj se dogaja, zato ker sem bila premajhna, tu sem bila še stara manj kot 10 let.
But I did not understand that at that time what was happening with me. I was only a little child, almost barely 10 years old.
In kasneje se mi je to začelo dogajati vse pogosteje, še zlasti, kadar sem bila kje na posebno mirnem prostoru v naravi ali na svetem mestu v katerikoli kulturi.
And later, these experiences occurred ever more often, especially when I was in the nature, at special sacred sites.
Ja. In večkrat sem doživela izkušnje, v katerih nisem imela pojma, zakaj gre. Eden najpomembnejših dogodkov, ki mi je prinesel spontano kozmično iniciacijo, se je dogodil, ko smo jahali s konji in je moj partner padel s konja.
I often experienced experiences which I didn't have any clue what they were about, and one special initiation happened to me when my former partner, fell from the horse.
In v tistem trenutku, ker sem jahala mlajšega konja, mlajši konj je naredil isto kot starejši konj, na katerem je jahal moj partner.
I was riding a younger horse. My partner was riding his senior brother. And the younger brother horse did exactly the same thing as his senior brother.
Torej sem tudi jaz letela s
So I
konjem.
also fell from my horse.
Torej, to, da v 2-3 sekundah se mi je odvil v življenje nazaj in vse, kar je naprej, natanko sem vedela, v tistem času, ko sem padala s konja, sem natanko vedela, kaj se dogaja, kakšno poškodbo ima partner in pa kaj moram napraviti, kam moram postaviti roko, da ne bo trajno invalid.
And within 2 or 3 seconds, a film of my life unrolled within me. I saw everything that was and that is yet to come. And I knew exactly where the injury was in my partner's body, and I knew exactly where to place my hands in order to help him.
Potem se je pobral, padel je na kamen in je imel ogromen hematom, to se pravi napolnjen s krvjo na hrbtu, in smo odjahali domov. Jahali smo skoraj 1 uro še nazaj.
My partner then got up. He had a large hematoma full of blood, but then we were able to ride
I
back.
didn't see at all that he had hematom.
And then we were able to ride back home for 1 hour. We were riding for 1 hour.
V tistem trenutku, ko sem mu položila roke na hrbet, se je začelo dogajati nekaj fantastičnega.
And something fantastic started happening at the moment when I placed my hands on his body.
Videla sem svetlobo, ki je prihajala z neba, šla skozi mojo glavo, skozi telo, skozi roke in direktno v njegovo telo.
I saw the light that came through my head and descended through my body, through my hands, and it went directly into his body.
In ne samo to, ta kozmična ljubezen, ki je prišla s tem dogodkom, je bila neprimerljiva s čimerkoli na zemlji.
Along with this event came cosmic love, and cosmic love was uncomparable with anything else on earth.
Začele so mi teči po licih solze ganjenosti.
I cried because I was touched.
Solze ganjenosti.
Yeah, I cried. I had tears on my eyes because I was
Special
touched.
tears.
Yeah, because I was touched.
Okay. Sorry. Zato, ker v bistvu je bilo to tako posebno, na kar sem se počasi spravila tudi jaz na konja.
This was so special. And then I also mounted my horse.
In spustila sem vajeti in konj me je s silno pozornostjo, ker je bil del tega dogodka, nesel domov.
I let my reins loose, and the horse himself rode me back to our home because he was a part of this special event.
Seveda, potem smo pogledali, kaj se je zgodilo na temu ubogemu hrbtu, ki je priletel na kamen, in šele takrat smo videli, da gre za resno težavo. Toda v tistem, ko sem mu položila roke, je bolečina izginila.
Only at home we saw what happened on his back, actually, because he fell on a rock. But when I placed my hands on his body, his pain disappeared.
In ko je prišel in je uporabil spet med jahanjem, se je bolečina spet za nekaj časa vrnila.
But while riding, pain reoccurred.
Seveda nisem razumela niti slučajno, kaj se dogaja. Stara sem bila 30 let.
And of course, I did not have a clue what actually happened. I was 30 years old.
Zdaj jih imam več kot duplo.
I have twice more years now, and twice more the age now.
Takrat se je začelo posebno potovanje v svetove onkraj.
This was the beginning of a special journey into the worlds beyond.
In vrsto dogodkov, ki so, zdaj ne vem, a so še na razpolago, tudi vse te stvari, vi lahko vidite, ta intervjuje, sicer jih imate tudi na naših spletnih straneh o pranojedstvu na šoli Veduna.
I think you can still see this film, this interview
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe you can still see this interview. It is still available on YouTube, and we also have it on our website, Veduna website.
In zelo pomemben dogodek je bil tudi v času nosečnosti.
And during pregnancy, I also had a special event.
Zato, ker v času nosečnosti je v bistvu so energije silno aktivne.
During pregnancy, energies are extremely active.
Toda v naši kulturi, to je bilo v času socializma, nihče govoril o tem.
But in our culture, in the times of socialism, nobody spoke about this.
Samo gledala sem, kako se sprehajajo po mojem telesu, postajala vse bolj pozorna na energije in tako postala popotnik skozi različne dimenzije življenja.
I observed how these energies strolled through my body, did not know what was happening, and this is how I became a traveler along the path of life.
In ker sem poleg v bistvu zelo radovednega raziskovalca, znanstvenika, tudi zelo radovedna, kaj se dogaja v svetovih, ki so nam zakriti, sem se spustila v odkrivanje energij.
I'm a researcher and a scientist, so I embarked on this journey of researching very curiously these worlds which were veiled to us until then.
In ko smo na vajah, ko sem vadila in učila ostale glasbenike, kako pravzaprav izvajati staro tradicionalno glasbo naše dežele.
During our musical practices, in which I taught other musicians how to perform folk music of our country.
Old music, not only folk music, old music also. Yes, sorry. Sem začutila v bistvu, da se nekaj posebnega dogaja.
So during these musical practices, I started feeling that something special was happening.
Zato, ker določene stare melodije, melosi so odpirali eno, drugo čakro, en del telesa, drugi del telesa.
Because certain melodies and tunes were opening certain chakras, parts of the body.
Potem sem vprašala kolege, kaj čutite vi tu isto?
And then I asked my colleagues, do you feel the same?
Nekateri so mi seveda to potrdili, pravzaprav vsi. In tako se je začelo tudi moje veliko potovanje v raziskovanje biti razsežnosti zvoka.
Most of my colleagues agreed with me, and this is how my journey to the dimensions of sound started.
Ko pa sem slišala, da so Rusi napravili posebno orodje, s katerim lahko dosežejo kogarkoli na zemlji, me je pa razjezilo.
But when I heard that the Russians crafted a special instrument with which they can reach any person on earth. I was really upset.
And do what they want.
And do what they want with us. I was very upset.
In potem so me nekako spodbudili, da sem začela v bistvu o svojih raziskavah predavati tudi drugim, o energiji zvoka.
And my colleagues encouraged me to start lecturing also to others about the power of sound, the dimensions of sound.
Leta 1994, december je bil malo pred Božičem, sem začutila, da ne morem ne jesti, ne piti.
In a pre-Christmas period in 1994, I felt that I am unable to eat or drink, simply.
Kot bi me nekdo držal za vrat.
Like somebody would be clutching me by my throat,
Imela
squeezing
sem
me.
44 let
I had 44 years at that time.
in mislila sem, ne vem, kaj se dogaja, verjetno moram jesti, ker pač ljudje jemo.
I did not know what was happening, but I thought perhaps I simply have to eat because people eat, you know.
Po 16 dnevih brez hrane in tekočine se je moje telo toliko spremenilo, da sem šla na presno hrano in jedla leta in leta samo solato.
After 16 days of such a state, my body changed to a degree so that I could move to raw food. And for years I ate only raw food.
Only salad. Ja, samo salato, težko si je predstavljati to, da ker se je telo tako spremenilo, je vsak periček salate bil najboljšega okusa na tej zemlji.
It's maybe difficult to imagine, but because my body changed so much, every little piece of salad had a wonderful taste.
In to je bilo leto 1994, v letu 2000 pa sem nekako zvedla, da konec koncev ljudje lahko živimo brez hrane.
This was in 1994, but in 2000, I got to know that people, after all, can live without food.
Torej sem rekla, toliko let si izgubila, ko bi lahko
And
bila
I
brez.
said, I've lost so many years.
Ja, ko
And
si
I've lost so many years, I could not eat for
lahko bi
years.
bila tudi ob kozmični hrani.
I could have lived on cosmic food as well.
Potem sem dala takoj sporočilo, da želim ostati na tem nivoju in se hraniti s kozmično hrano.
And then I immediately sent out a message saying that I want to be fed on cosmic food.
Potem si lahko predstavljate, da se je vse odvilo zelo hitro.
And then you can imagine that everything happened very quickly.
V avgustu 2000 sem torej sem prešla na življenje brez fizične hrane, torej na življenje s kozmično hrano.
In August 2000, I moved to a life on cosmic food, on a life without solid food.
Predtem sem že poučevala načine naravne tehnike zdravljenja.
Before that, I was already teaching natural techniques of healing.
Ja, še posebej, kako postati medij za prevajanje energije iz izvora.
Especially teaching how to become a medium for channeling the energy from the source, of the source.
In v septembru 2000, 14 dni potem, ko sem trajno prišla na kozmično hrano, sem se znašla v Himalaji.
And in September 2000, so shortly after I moved to pranic life, I found myself in the Himalayas.
I didn't know how. Samo naenkrat sem bila med tibetanskimi begunci, pravzaprav nekje v bližini, kjer je živel Dalaj Lama, čeprav ga nisem srečala, ker je bil odsoten.
Like all of a sudden, I found myself among Tibetan refugees in a place near where Dalai Lama lives, but I did not meet him because he was away at that time.
Zato pa sem srečala čudovite ljudi, zlasti menihe lame, ki so živeli visoko v jamah Himalaje in občasno prakticirali življenje ob kozmični hrani.
But I met wonderful people, especially monks, lamas, who lived high up in the mountains in cliffs, in caves, rock caves.
Še posebej lama Ješe sva se takoj našla nekako na ravni zavesti. On je ušel iz kozmičnega, ne, iz vseživljenjskega džumbusa v dolini.
Lama Yeshe and I grew especially close to each other because of a level of consciousness, and he lived high up in the mountains in a rocky cave.
On je pobegnil iz džumbusa vsakodnevnega življenja.
He escaped from the hustle and bustle of the everyday life.
Imel je samo majhno postelja, majhen štedilnik, nekaj cunj, popolnoma moker modroc.
He only had a little stove, a small bed, a couple of clothes, and a completely wet mattress.
In ena sama zavesa. In ko sem ga vprašala, kaj pa je za to zaveso?
And there was a curtain as well. And I asked him, what is this curtain for?
In je rekel, za to zaveso pa imam jaz svojo votlino za meditacijo.
And he said that behind this curtain, I have my cave for meditations.
In mi je pokazal to votlino in mi povedal, da gre vsako leto za 2-3 mesece na ta način, da se še iz tega življenja, ki ga pozna, odtrga.
He showed me this cave and said that he withdraws into this cave every year for 2 or 3 months. So he withdraws even from his lifestyle, not from the hustle and bustle of the everyday
In to
life.
počnejo tudi drugi lame, nekateri lame, več jih je.
Other lamas also do this. There are many of them. There are several.
Toda imajo poseben način. Meni se je vse dogajalo spontano in zelo verjamem v to, da je spontan način morda najbolj trajen in tudi najuspešnejši, ker teh stvari se ne da ne kupiti, ne se približati na kakšen drugačen način.
But they had their own technique for this. But to me, everything happened spontaneously. And
Also for them.
But I firmly believe that these things should happen spontaneously. These things cannot be bought or attained in any other way.
Ja, in lame so si zmešale en poseben kroglice iz zelišč, ko so šli za več mesecev na kozmično hrano, to se pravi brez običajne hrane, zato so imeli te kroglice, da niso čutili lakote.
So when embarking on a pranic life, these lamas mixed some herbal grains so that they would not feel hunger.
Special way. In takoj zatem sem se znašla med mnogimi kulturami.
And soon after this journey, I found myself among many other
In
cultures.
povsod sem našla ljudi, ki so prakticirali tudi življenje s kozmično hrano.
And everywhere I met people who practice life on cosmic food.
Najprej sem obiskala severnoameriške Indijance, Navajo, Hopi.
First, I visited North American Indians, the Navajo and Hopi tribe,
Čirokeze in Apache.
Cherokee tribes and Apache.
Potem sem šla na Bali, v Indonezijo, na otok, ki še zmeraj ohranja staro tradicijo.
Then I went to Indonesia, to Bali. This is an island which still maintains the old tradition.
Zatem sem šla med južnoameriške Maje, potomce Majev.
Then I went to south of the Mayans, descendants of the Mayans.
Potem v Avstralijo med domorodce, med aboriđine.
Then to the Aboriginal peoples of Australia.
Med brazilske kirurge in filipinske kirurge.
To Filipino and Brazilian surgeons.
Stari Egipt,
Ancient Egypt.
po poteh Pitagore.
I followed the tracks of Pythagoras.
Kje vse sem bila še? Sibirija.
Siberia.
Tuva in Hakasija.
Tuva and Khakassia, regions in Siberia.
Through all Balkan.
I traveled through the entire Balkans.
Ja, spet govorim English, I'm sorry. I speak English sometimes. Skratka, kultur je bilo veliko, verjetno sem še kakšno pozabila, ker jih je kar nekaj bilo. In tam sem se srečala še z eno veliko posebnostjo. Ta posebnost je kozmična kirurgija.
There were many cultures, and perhaps I forgot maybe some, because there were so many of them. And among these cultures, I met something special. I met cosmic surgery.
To še posebej med Brazilci in med Filipinci.
Especially among the Brazilians and the Filipino.
In ko sem jih gledala, kako operirajo in kri šprica na vse strani, sem jaz vedela v tistem trenutku, da bo morala čez nekaj let tudi to sama upravljati, vendar ne na ta način.
I observed them and I saw how blood was sprinkling all over the place, and then I was thinking, well, I will have to do something similar in a couple of years.
But not with blood.
But not with blood.
In takrat sem imela 30 let.
I was 30 at that time.
In tako v Braziliji kot na Filipinih sem imela to priložnost, da so me povabili v izkušnjo te kirurgije in smo operirali skupaj, toda brez krvi.
Both in Brazil and in the Philippines, I had the opportunity to be invited. I was invited to work together with them, so we operated on people, but without blood.
Tomorrow, okay?
Tomorrow you will be operated.
And also after tomorrow. In nekega dne, ko sem se vrnila domov, nisem niti vedela, kdaj bo to prišlo, ker včasih je grozno videti, kako sežeš z roko v telo, potegneš nekaj, kar je slabega ven. Ja.
I did not know when will this happen. This was strange to observe, because you go in with your hand into the body, and I didn't know when will this possibility happen for me.
But it happened.
It happened.
Someday.
One day it happened.
Ja, one day. In to je bilo leta 2005.
It was in 2005.
So, od takrat redno operiram v Sloveniji, pa tudi drugod po tujini. In tisto, kar se je zgodilo, je, kar sem želela, da se to ne dogaja s krvjo, ampak se dogaja z mislijo in pa z zvokom.
And since then, I operate on a regular basis in Slovenia and also abroad. And I operate with energy and with sound. My wish was granted. I am not operating with blood.
Yeah. It's better, especially in our countries. You're sorry.
Yeah.
In kozmična kirurgija je res nekaj nenavadnega. Nikoli si nisem predstavljala, da bom živela brez običajnih hrane, kaj šele, da bom operirala in delala s kozmičnimi entitetami.
Cosmic surgery is really something special and unusual. I never actually imagined myself to be doing this, to be living on prana, let alone operating with cosmic entities.
In takoj, ko sem prešla avgusta 2000 na kozmično hrano, takoj, praktično drugi dan, so se začele dogajati zelo nenavadne stvari, med drugim plaz informacij.
Immediately after I transited to a life without food, like the next day, avalanche of information started coming through me.
I didn't know, nisem vedela, odkot prihajajo.
I did not know where this information was coming from.
Toda bile so na mestu.
But they were on the spot, right?
Dobila sem natančno informacijo, kako moram napraviti svojo spiritualno šolo.
I received a very precise information how to found and establish my school.
Zato, ker da bi ljudje postopoma lahko prišli na ta način prehranjevanja, rabijo marsikaj.
Because people need many things in order to be able to transit to such a way of life gradually, slowly.
Permanently. Ja, trajno.
For a permanent pranic state, they need a gradual transition.
Drugače samo probajo in padejo nazaj.
Otherwise, they just try this and then they fall back.
Mnogo jih je bilo takih, ki so probali čez mesec dni, niso zdržali več kot mesec dni.
Many people tried, but they did not endure more than 1 or 2 months.
In informacije, ki so začele prihajati od kozmičnih entitet, ki delajo tudi v kirurgiji in tudi ko igramo, ko predavam, morda boste čutili toploto, hlad na telesu, kajti vse je kirurgija.
And these cosmic entities work on you when I'm lecturing, when I'm performing music, and maybe you will feel these entities like heat or in the form of cold.
Pozablja si in v kirurgiji.
And also during surgery, they work, the cosmic entities, they work on you.
When I'm writing.
Even when I'm writing, yeah.
In te entitete čutimo kot prisotnost.
And these entities are felt like presence.
In kar naprej prihajajo nove kozmične entitete, ki želijo pomagati človeštvu.
And new entities keep coming, entities which want to help humanity.
Ker smo na robu.
Because we are on the verge, on the edge.
Dve skupini ljudi se kreirata na zemlji. Ena stoji ali gre celo nazaj, ena pa gre z veliko brzino naprej.
Two groups of people are being formed on this earth. One group wants to stay in one place, or it is even moving in reverse, and the other group wants to move ahead and go further.
Torej, razlika med njima je vedno večja, verjetno ste opazili.
And the gap between these two groups is ever wider.
Nič več ne delam, nič po svoji pameti.
I no longer do anything on my own mind, by myself, on my own will, from my own will.
Zato, ker se zavedam omejenosti našega lastnega uma.
Because I know what the limitations of our own mind are.
Tisto, kar je treba napraviti, je razširiti zavest, razširiti naše sposobnosti in prebuditi speče sposobnosti.
What we need to do is to expand our consciousness and expand our abilities, and we need to awaken our dormant abilities.
In v šoli Veduna poskušam ljudem pomagati najprej. Nekateri so v šoli tudi po 10, 12, 20 let, tako kot so se odvijale tudi stare spiritualne šole.
Some students have been in my school for 20 years because
or 12, 10,
because this is also how the old schools worked.
Spiritual schools. Keltske, Slavic schools.
Celtic, Slavic schools, spiritual
others.
schools.
Greek, Egyptians and so on. In v teh šolah pravzaprav so se učili, Pitagora je imel napisano nad vrati, spoznaj se.
Pythagoras had a sign on the doors of his school which said, get to know yourself.
Če se ne spoznaš, kaj nosiš v sebi, nimaš možnosti velike za premik.
If you don't know and realize what you carry within you, you can't make a shift, you can't move forward.
In življenje je pravzaprav hoja od te stvarnosti, ki pravimo stvarnost pa iluzija, nazaj v stvarnost, ki pravimo iluzija.
And life is actually a journey from this illusion which we call reality back to reality which we call now illusion.
Ja, to je spiritualno potovanje in v tem procesu duhovnega bojevnika moramo prepoznati svoje ovirajoče energije in vzorce.
And this is a spiritual journey in which spiritual warriors need to recognize their own limiting patterns.
In ko jih prepoznamo, enostavno čez mene steče informacije, vkolikor je človek zrel, da jih prepozna.
Information starts flowing through me of what people need to do in order to remove these obstacles. And if a person is mature enough, they will recognize it and understand
Če niso
the information.
pripravljeni, ne pride nič.
If people are not ready, nothing will come.
It's better so. Zato drugače zgubljamo vsi čas in energijo.
It's better this way because otherwise we are all losing our energy.
And time.
And time. Yeah.
Okay. Včasih kakšno stvar ne pozabi, zato te malo dopolni. Okay. Seveda je to delo duhovnega bojevnika čudovito, pa tudi težko.
The work of a spiritual warrior is wonderful, but difficult at the same time.
odvisno je od vas, koliko ste pripravljeni gledati vase.
It depends upon you how much you are ready to look into yourself.
Zato je ogromno duhovne ponudbe v našem času, pa zelo malo bojevnikov.
In our time, there's a large variety of offers, but there's so little, such a small number of warriors there is.
Spiritual warriors. In edino to bo spremenilo svet na bolje.
And only this will change the world to the better.
Ko spreminjate sebe, spreminjate svet.
When you change yourself, you change the world.
Ko vidite, ko spustite iz sebe potisnjene, boleče, rušilne emocije,
When you release your destructive, suppressed emotions from yourself
ali pa misli,
or thoughts,
se začne drug svet.
another world will start then.
Bitka je lahko težka, tako da osvoboditev vam prinese lahkotnost bivanja.
This battle can be difficult, but this liberation, this release can help you to come to a more easier and lighter life.
V decembru 2016, to moram povedati, ko greste in ste več let na kozmični hrani, postanete zelo, zelo občutljivi tudi za vse, kar se dogaja okoli vas, tudi v vesolju.
After several years of being on prana, you become very sensitive to everything what is happening around you, even in the universe.
Jaz sem zdaj že 18 let.
I've been on prana for 18 years now,
In se opazujem, kako se spreminjam.
and I observe myself how I am changing.
Sanja si mi ne, kaj bo še prišlo.
I don't have a clue what is yet to come.
Toda v tem občutljivosti, ki se veča, dobivate tudi moč.
But you also get power through this sensitivity, which is increasing.
Bolj, ko se osvobodite trdega goriva, kot jaz pravim, običajni hrani,
The more you liberate yourself from the solid food, this is how, from the solid fuel, this is how I call solid food, usual food.
več, ko iz sebe spravite rušilnih čustev in misli,
The more you release your destructive emotions and thoughts,
lažje prevajate tudi univerzalno inteligenco oziroma univerzalno življenjsko energijo.
you can channel the universal life energy more easily.
In universal
Life energy?
life energy, yes. In brez te univerzalne življenjske energije je naše telo mrtvo.
Our body is dead without this universal life energy.
Če teče brez neprekinjeno in brez blokad, smo živi.
If this energy flows through us freely, without any obstacles, we are alive.
Alive in v bistvu vidite stvari, ki jih drugi ne.
And you see things which other people do not see.
Ko pa vidite stvari, ki jih drugi ne, postane lahko življenje tudi težko.
But life can become difficult when you see things which other people do not see.
Zakaj? Zato, ker vam ne verjamejo.
Because they won't believe you. They don't believe you.
Okay? Dobro, odvisno, kaj se dogaja v sami. Kot sem pripovedovala o sami kirurgiji, entitete prihajajo vsak dan nove, prepoznavam jih po vibracijah in rečem, wow, fešta.
So new energies keep coming every day.
Entities is coming every day.
Yeah, new entities are coming every day, and I recognize them through their vibration.
From where are they? From where are they? Odkud so?
I recognize their origin from where they are through their vibration.
In odvisno je, kdo pride, zakaj pride na tečaj ali na kirurgijo ali na koncert. In tiste entitete pridejo, ki poskušajo potem vsakemu dati dar, ki ga potrebuje.
It depends who comes to the surgery and why they come to the surgery, and then these entities try to give those people what they need.
In zdaj imamo naslednji kolaps. Ja?
And now we have another collapse.
To je v bistvu nerazumevanje med tem, kar se dogaja na energijskih eteričnih ravneh in med uradno medicino.
There is a lack of understanding of what is happening on etheric energy levels and what the mainstream medicine is saying.
Ker v bistvu, ko zdravimo eterično in ko zdravijo entitete skozi medija, ljudi, tudi tiste odpisane, seveda je nemogoče to povedati, pokazati uradni medicini.
It is impossible to say and report to the mainstream medicine what cosmic entities actually do when they heal a person, when they can cure even persons that were signed off by the medical profession.
Toda zelo me veseli, da je vse več zdravnikov, ki jih to zanima.
But I'm very glad to see that there are ever more doctors which are interested in such topics.
In moram se pohvaliti malo, če smem.
And I have to say a praise for myself, if I may.
Da je v naši šoli tudi več profesorjev z medicinske fakultete.
And that in our school we also have a few professors from the medical faculties.
To pomeni, da se bo prihodnost spremenila.
This means that the future will change.
Ker se mora.
Because it has to.
In ko čutite v bistvu hlad ali vročino ali zbadanje, ki prihaja v vaše telo, pravzaprav pomeni poseg.
When you feel heat or cold in your body, or when you feel pins and needles, like tingling feeling in your body, this means that this is an operation.
Ali pa, no, this is the gift of entities.
Poseg.
No operation.
Poseg.
Ok, operacija lahko, ampak tudi samo prisotnost entitet.
This can be only a presence of entities.
Ki vam dajo dar, ki ga potrebujete.
And these entities give you the gift you need.
Če ste imeli poškodbo ali ste bolni, še posebej čutite na tistem mestu.
You will especially feel it on the locations where you had injuries.
Toda največja nenavadnost, ki se ti potem začne dogajati, je potovanje skozi dimenzije resničnosti.
But the most unusual thing that starts happening to you is the journey across the dimensions of reality.
Kajti ne živimo samo v 3 dimenzijah.
Because we do not live only within 3 dimensions.
Mi smo kozmični otroci.
We are cosmic children.
V fizičnem telesu, ki smo sposobni odpreti se v mnoge dimenzije realnosti.
In the physical body, and we are able to open up ourselves to many different dimensions of reality.
In zdaj se vračam k naslovu tega predavanja. Potovanje, preterijansko potovanje skozi čas in prostor.
And now I come back to the actual title of this lecture, Breatharian Journey Across Time and Space.
Naše stare ljudske pripovedi pripovedujejo o življenju brez hrane, stare pa so več tisočletja, da ne rečem tudi 10 000.
Our old folk tales, which are more than thousands of years old, tell about breatharianism.
Tudi 10 000 let.
They can be even 10,000 years old, these tales.
Govorijo o velikanih.
They talk about giants.
Imenovali so jih v naši slovenski kulturi Ajdi.
The Slovene culture called these giants Ajdi.
Naša slovenska kultura, my little country, small country, je išla iz vedske kulture.
Our Slovene culture derived from the Vedic culture.
In mnoge podobnosti imamo še vedno z vedsko kulturo.
And we still share many similarities with the Vedic culture.
Oboje govorijo o ljudeh, ki so živeli 10 000 let, 20 000 let pred našim štetjem in niso potrebovali hrane.
Both relate about people who lived 10,000 or 20,000 years ago and who did not need food.
Simbolično so rekli, da je Bog živel z njimi.
Symbolically, they said that the God lived among them, with them.
Lahko rečete Bog, kozmična inteligenca, centrala, kozmična centrala, kakor vam je drago.
You can call it God, you can call it cosmic intelligence, or this cosmic center.
Or computer.
Computer. What you prefer.
We cannot imagine this computer. Sorry.
Yeah.
In v glavnem, te zgodbice obstajajo v vseh kulturah, katerokoli kulturo sem obiskala, praktično na vseh celinah posod so jih imeli.
And these tales exist in all cultures practically. Wherever I went, everywhere they had them.
In kaj se je zgodilo v teh zgodbah?
And what happened in these tales?
This is interesting. To je zanimivo. Pravijo, ljudje so se začeli te kozmične inteligence ali božanske biti bati.
And the tales say that people started to fear this cosmic intelligence.
Or God. In so rekli, življenje je postalo zelo težko na planetu in zato se je kozmična inteligenca umaknila iz uma ljudi.
Life became difficult on the planet, and this is why the cosmic intelligence withdraw from the minds of the people.
No, in od takrat naprej se moramo truditi za vsakdanji kruh.
And since then, we have to try hard to earn our daily bread.
Predtem naj bi jedli kozmično hrano, ki so jo tudi v svetih pismih imenovali mana.
Before that, we ate cosmic food, which was called mana in ancient texts.
Ja. In Slovenian culture, v slovenski kulturi smo imenovali to energijo nikarmana. Še zmeraj je pa mana.
In our Slovene culture, we called this energy nikarmana, and it still contains mana, this word.
In veliko je zgodb tudi o potovanju, meddimenzionalnem potovanju, o komunikaciji z vesoljem, z galaktičnim središčem.
There are many stories also about communication with the galactic center, with the cosmic expanse, and with also tales about these interdimensional journeys.
In vsa stara obredja na vseh celinah so bila povezana z enim samim namenom.
All ceremonies on all continents were connected with one single purpose, one single intent.
To je, da se človek poveže z zemljo in vesoljem.
To align humans, to connect humans with the earth and with the universe. This was their purpose.
Kajti, ko je človek povezan z univerzumom, nič na tej zemlji ni več težko.
Because once people or a person is connected to the universe, nothing is difficult.
Lahko, you can do it what you want.
You can do whatever you want.
Pa nikoli ne boš naredil nič slabega.
And you will never do anything bad.
Zato, ker čutiš povezavo.
Because you feel this connection.
Zato imate na zemlji tudi dobre in slabe zdravilce.
So this is why also you have bad or good healers on the earth.
Eni delajo z umom in tem pravijo, v Aziji pravijo galka.
Some healers work with their minds, and they're called galka in Asia.
In ljudje se jih silno bojijo.
And people are very much afraid of them.
Zato, ker vedo, da z umom lahko naredijo napako.
Because they know that with mind you can make a mistake.
Če kanaliziraš kot medij, kanaliziraš informacije in prepuščaš to univerzalno življenjsko energijo, ne moreš narediti napake.
But if you are channeling the information, if the information descends through you, then you will not make a mistake.
Če pa nekomu odvzameš bolezen, ki jo je rabil za učenje in za premik dalje, zdravilec to karmatično plača.
But if a healer takes away a disease from a person, a disease which this person needed in order to learn, then the healer will pay it through their karma.
Ja, veste kaj, karma zagotovo, ne, imamo karmo, darmo in darma je tisto, kar prinesemo odprej. Moja prva duhovna izobrazba, to vedno pozabim povedati, ko sem pri 30 oziroma v nosečnosti zbolela, pa nič tazga, samo žolčni kamni, ja.
So you all know what karma is and dharma is. When I was 30, I fell ill with a small thing. They were gallstones.
But I didn't know. Yeah. Sorry. Nisem vedela, da so in sem se začela ukvarjati z transcendentalno meditacijo in sem 12 let prakticirala jogijsko levitacijo.
I did not know that my problem were gallstones, but I started practicing transcendental meditation, and I practiced transcendental meditation for 12 years.
No, yoga levitation.
A yoga levitation.
To pomeni, da začneš razumevati, kaj ti z umom premagaš gravitacijo Zemlje. To ni
Yogic
tako.
levitation means that you start to understand you with your mind, you overcome the gravitation of the earth
V praksi.
in practice.
In se dvigneš.
You lift yourself.
In to je podprlo vse tista moje dogajanja v otroštvu, ko se je odpiralo to povezovanje s kozmosom, mi je uredilo telo, da so šla lahko naprej.
And these experiences also bound up with all my experiences I had in my childhood, and they helped me. This levitation helped me to move forward and to overcome my health problems.
In pogosto nas seveda težave pripravijo na to, da spremenimo način življenja.
Problems often prepare us or force us to change our way of living.
And thinking. Ja. Začnemo popolnoma drugače videvati svet. In takrat se spomnim, da se mi je sesul popolnoma star način mišljenja, ko sem videla, da smo pravzaprav kozmični otroci, učili pa so nas popolnoma drugače.
The old world, the old way of thinking changes and shatters. And my world also shattered when I saw that I was thought completely different things.
In zvok se je spremenil.
My sound changed.
Začelo mi je tudi po tisti prvi trajni izkušnji, ko sem šla na življenje s kozmično hrano v avgustu 2000.
When in August 2000, when I moved to a permanent breatharian lifestyle.
In se takoj zatem znašla v Himalaji in potem tudi v drugih kulturah, vsako leto v eni ali dveh.
And soon after this, I found myself among many other cultures, many cultures, and every year among one or two culture.
In smo delali skupaj z svečeniki, glasbeniki, svečeniki, zdravilci skupaj za planet Zemljo.
Together we worked with priests and healers for the planet Earth.
Healers and musicians.
Musicians as well, yeah.
In takrat se je v bistvu začelo odpirati tudi popolnoma drugačno razumevanje zvoka.
And that's when a totally different understanding of sound started opening up.
Dobro, študirala sem sicer muzikologijo, etnologijo, doktorirala iz etnomuzikologije.
I studied ethnology and musicology, and my PhD was on ethnomusicology.
Toda na univerzi nisem dobila nič.
But I did not get a thing at the university, nothing.
Vse sem mogla raziskati sama.
I had to research everything for myself on my own.
In ko je zvok začel delovati nazaj in postal spontani zvok. Ko smo imeli koncert v Bonu, se spomnim, sem naenkrat začela na Panove piščali igrati stvari, ki jih nisem poznala. Sploh nisem vedela kaj. Padla sem v trans in začela igrati spontano.
During a concert we had in Bonn in Germany, I suddenly started playing spontaneously on my instrument. I did not read panpipes. I did not know what I was playing at that time.
In počasi se je to postajalo vse pogostejše. Leta 1999 se je rodil tudi naš ansambl Vedun.
And slowly these channeled performances of music became ever more often, and in 1999 our Vedun ensemble was born.
Vedun je slovanski bog, ki je zdravil z besedo in zvokom. Beseda je pomembna.
Vedun is a Slavic god who healed through word and sound. Word is important.
Vedno pravim, da gremo z zvokom v tišino.
I always say that with sound we go into silence.
In zvok je pomembno orodje.
Sound is an important tool,
ki nas spreminja.
Which changes us.
Ko so začeli ti spontani zvoki prevajati najprej skozi mene, potem sem začela to učiti tudi druge glasbenike, se je odprl spet nova faza, popolnoma nov čudovit svet.
A new wonderful world, a new face open up when I started channeling these sounds. And I also taught other musicians to play in this way.
Tam trije moji, na desni je moj sin, ki je že zelo, ko je bil čisto majhen, je ure in ure kanaliziral skozi sebe spontane zvoke.
Three of the Vedun musicians sit here at
In
the
white.
front in white, and to the right there is my son, who has been channeling spontaneous sounds since childhood.
Ja. On je sedel na stopnici in je vzel, mi imamo doma imamo 300 inštrumentov z celega sveta.
We have 300 instruments at our home from all over the world, and he sat on the stairs.
In vzel je enega iz stene in ob tem improviziral. Mami, 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 mami.
He picked one instrument from the wall and started improvising.
In to je trajalo vedno. Dober posluh ima, tako da popularne muzike ni poslušal nikoli.
This was always so. He has a good ear for music, so he never listened to popular music.
Pravi, da žali njegove ušesa.
He says that popular music insults his ears.
Potem je Igor, ki je tudi že 5 let v ansamblu, drugače je profesor klasične kitare, se bom še potem kasneje predstavljala, in tudi Matjaž, ki je komaj leto dni v ansamblu in sem stroga učiteljica.
I am a strict teacher, and there is Igor is sitting there next to my son. He's a classical guitar teacher. He's been in the ensemble for 5 years, and there is Matjaž, who's been in the ensemble for 1 year.
Ja. In tisto, kar je najpomembnejše, morajo prakticirati tudi življenje brez običajne hrane in celo tekočine.
And the most important is that they have to practice life without ordinary food and even without liquid.
Vsako leto gremo ob morju na tako imenovani suhi post.
Every year we go to a dry fast to the seaside.
In tja vodim ljudi iz moje dežele, Slovenije in sosednje Hrvaške, in kdor se nam pridruži. In dejansko 10 dni smo v procesu.
I lead students from Slovenia and Croatia to this dry fast, to this process. We are 10 days within a process.
Nekaj dni gremo notri, potem smo 4 dni brez vode in tekočine in potem spet počasi nazaj prihajamo v običajno življenje.
There are a few introductory days, and then we have 3 or 4 days without food and liquid, after which we then slowly come back again into usual life.
In v tem času brez hrane in tekočine, običajne hrane in tekočine, se dogajajo neverjetne stvari, podobno kot v naši kozmični kirurgiji.
And during this period we spend without liquid and food, unusual, extraordinary things happen, like in the cosmic surgery as well.
Lahko si predstavljate, ko so ljudje odpisani, ko ne najdejo več nobenega načina, kako bi pozdravili svoje telo, svoje anomalije.
You can imagine people who are signed off by the medical profession, who can't find any other way of curing their state.
Te seveda najdejo potem duhovne poti, ne?
Then they find spiritual
Ker to je
paths.
smisel, to je tudi smisel vsake bolezni.
Because learning, this is actually the purpose of every disease.
Da te pripelje nazaj na duhovno potovanje.
To bring you back to the spiritual journey.
In potem se zgodi, da popolnoma nezamisljive stvari ljudje, ki so bili, kot se rekla, odpisani, ozdravijo v 3 dneh.
And then completely unimaginable things happen. People that were signed off are cured within 3 days.
In seveda, težko je razumeti, še jaz, ko kanaliziram te energije, ne razumem.
It is difficult to understand. Even I, who am channeling these energies, cannot understand these things.
Lahko smo samo hvaležni za te darove.
We can only be grateful for these gifts.
In se zavedamo, da smo povezani dejansko ne samo med seboj, ampak močno povezani tudi z nevidnimi bitji, ki delajo naše dobro.
We can recognize and know that we are not only connected between each other, but also we are connected to these invisible energies which are working for our good.
Entities also.
Entities.
Vem, da v nekaterih spiritualnih učenjih učijo, da so entitete nekaj slabega.
I know that some spiritual teachings teach that entities are something bad.
Dobro je pravilno razumeti, gre za nefizična bitja, To niso nebozetni mojstri, ampak mojstri učitelji univerzuma.
It is good to understand. These are not ascended masters, these are master teachers of the universe.
Ki prihajajo iz različnih planetarnih konstelacij.
They come from various planetary constellations.
In kot sem že povedala, ko se je začelo vse spreminjati, tudi zvok in mi je začelo teči iz oči, iz nosu,
When it all started, my nose was runny, liquid was running from my tears,
to je bilo,
from my eyes.
ko sem
sorry.
trajno prestopila na življenje skozi
This happened when I moved permanently to a life without food, usual food.
Takrat v bistvu sem dobila kontakt, so začeli delati prvi mojstri, ki so prišli, so bili mojstri iz Plejad.
That was when I got in contact with them. The first masters,
They get contact with me.
or they
It's
they
divorce.
contacted me.
I didn't
And
know at all what
Yeah.
is happening.
The first ones to come were masters from the Pleiades.
Potem so prišli iz Oriona,
Then the Orions followed
Vege.
from Vega.
Tako so se rodile kozmične iniciacije.
This is how cosmic initiations came
Potem so
about.
prišli iz galaktičnega centra, praktično iz vseh teh pomembnih galaktičnih družin, galaktičnih pravzaprav ozvezdij in tudi središča, v katerega so potovale stare kulture.
So entities from all major more important constellations came, from all those constellations to which also ancient cultures were traveling to.
Ne vem, kdo pride, pridejo, kadar pridejo, ker vedo, da morajo priti.
I don't know who is coming, who comes, who will come. They come because they know they need to come.
In jutri v kirurgiji bomo videli, kdo bo prišel, prav tako v kozmični iniciaciji po jutrišnjem.
And tomorrow we shall see who will come tomorrow during the surgery and also during the cosmic initiations.
Ker od tega je odvisno je od vas, kaj boste potrebovali, katere vibracije, katero kvaliteto vibracij.
Because it depends on you, what you will need, which quality of a vibration.
Ali za duhovno rast, ali za urejanje na fizičnem nivoju, ali za urejanje na duhovnem nivoju.
Whether you will need vibrations to harmonize things on your spiritual level, on your physical level, or you will need something for your spiritual growth.
In kot sem že omenila, tisto, kar korak za korakom prinaša vse večji čudež,
And step by step, ever greater miracles are coming.
ki pravzaprav ni čudež, ampak je nekaj povsem naravnega.
But this is not actually a miracle. This is something completely natural.
Samo vi ne vemo za to.
It is only us that do
Ne
not
vemo,
know
kaj,
about
ne vemo,
this.
kaj nosimo v sebi.
We do not know what we carry within
Skozi
us.
duhovno potovanje prebujamo svoje speče sposobnosti.
Along the spiritual journey, we awaken our dormant abilities.
Ja, lahko si predstavljate, kako se mi zdi krasno, ko odigramo nek koncert in ljudje odidejo spremenjeni domov.
And you can imagine how wonderful it seems to me when I see people on a concert, that after a concert, they walk away home being totally different.
Potem pridejo domov in jih njihovi domači ljubljenci ne spoznajo.
They come home and their pets would not recognize them.
Also dogs.
Their dogs.
Včasih jih nazijajo, kot se reče, potem,
Sometimes dogs will bark at them, but then they will see that.
ker vidijo auro, ne, in vidijo, da se je aura spremenila, aurično polje, eterična polja so se spremenila, tako da se pogosto zgodi, da začnejo domači psi lajati.
Dogs see the aura and they see that the aura has changed, which is why they start barking.
Mačke so pa običajno silno vesele in se vrtijo okrog novih gospodarjev.
But cats are usually very delighted to this change and they start walking around their new owners.
Master, ja.
Master owners, yeah.
Zelo sprejemljive so živali za to energijo in moram reči, da so zelo neverjetne stvari dogajajo, se usedete, pride pes, se vam usede na nogo, vzame svoj delež in gre.
Animals are very accepting for this for this energy. Like unusual things happen. A dog will come. The dog will sit next to you, and he will draw the energy he needs from you.
And they go.
And then they
Away.
will go. The dog leaves you. Yeah.
Ko sem zdravila mojega konja, ki je imel gliste, je drugi razbijal tako, da sem mislila, da bo razbil hlev.
When I was healing my horse who had, I don't know how it's called when you have something in the stomach, the parasites in the
Parasites, yeah.
stomach, the other horse in the stable was very upset because I was healing the other one.
He wants to.
He wanted to be healed
Ja, he
too,
wanted
yeah.
to, ja. In ko sem pač nehala z enim, sem začela z drugim, potem je bil mir.
So when I stopped healing the first one, I healed also the second one because then they were at peace with themselves.
Živali so čudoviti sopotniki, celo življenje, od malega rešujem živali.
Animals are wonderful companion travelers, fellow travelers. Since my childhood, I was saving animals.
In kjerkoli sem bila na vseh potovanjih, zmeraj je prišlo do tega, da sem mogla reševati živali.
And wherever I was, on all continents, I had to save animals.
In moj mlajši konj je me naučil indijanske pozornosti, ne indijanci, konj.
My younger horse taught me this Native American watchfulness, attentiveness.
Naučil me je videti, kaj je v zemlji, kaj je v bregu, kje so anomalije.
He taught me to see what is in the earth, what is on the hill, where are the anomalies.
Seveda, ker ponori, ne?
Because then the horse will get upset, they will go crazy.
In treba je videti naprej, če ne ostaneš na njem.
You have to see forward as well what is happening, because otherwise you won't stay in your saddle.
Tako da za nevidne energije so najboljši učitelji vaše živali.
So your animals are your best teachers for invisible energies.
Že neparkrat sem začela temo o zvoku, pa nikoli končala.
So I started the topic of sound many times, but I never ended it.
Nekega dne mi je bilo rečeno, spusti se.
One day I was told to let go, to surrender.
Nisem razumela.
I did not
Kaj
understand.
ne spustim? Nekar začutim čudoviti ples rok. Spontani ples rok, ki je zdravil.
But then I sensed a wonderful dance of movements, a movement which healed.
In to je bil najlepši ples rok, kar sem ga kdaj videla, tudi tiste, ko sem naučila svoje tečajnike, vsi so uspeli v tem.
And this was the most wonderful dance of hands that I have ever seen. I also taught my students this dance.
To je spontani gib.
This is spontaneous movement.
Prvo, kar jaz sem mogla spustiti, da so energije same tekle skozi mene.
First thing I had to do was to let go, to release the energies and let the energies flow freely, spontaneously through me.
Brez upletanja uma.
Without my mind interfering.
Zato vedno pravim, ko delate karkoli, ustvarjate ali zdravite, da pošljite na dopust.
This is why I say, whenever you do something, whether you heal or create, send your mind on holidays.
In se mu zahvalite sicer za tiste trenutke, ko ga rabite, to da v teh procesih zagotovo ne.
Give thanks to your mind for the moments you need it, but during these processes you certainly don't need your mind.
Takrat se osvobodite.
Release and liberate yourself from the mind.
Postanite pretočni.
Become free, let the energy flow freely through you.
In v tej pretočnosti začnete neizmerno uživati.
And you will start enjoying immensely this free flow.
In ko sem osvobodila ta pretok in ko sem osvobodila gib, ki je postal kirurško orodje,
and when this flow was freed within me, and when I also liberated my movements, and these movements became a surgical tool.
nakar slišim glas, ki mi reče, sedaj pa osvobodi še glas.
That's when I heard another voice saying, and now
Maybe it was the same.
liberate your voice too.
Ja. Voice? What voice? In naenkrat so iz mene začeli teči glasovi, tako nenavadni, da sem postala opazovalec.
And all of a sudden, so very unusual sounds started flowing through me. I simply became an observer of all of this.
Ker sem morala gledati od zunaj, zato da sem pustila, da teče. Kajti, čim bi se vpletla z umom, bi prenehal.
I had to observe all of this from the outside, because as soon as I would start interfering, this spontaneous event would stop.
Čim je prisoten, niste več spontani medij.
As soon as the mind is present, you're no longer a spontaneous medium.
In tako se je rodil naš ansambl s spontanimi zvoki, ki prihajajo za ta trenutek, za prisotne.
And this is how our ensemble for spontaneous sounds came about, was born. Ensemble which performs sounds which are needed for the moment, for the audience, the present audience.
Za vse, ki so prisotni.
For everyone who is present.
In to je vedno drugače. Ta zvok je neponovljiv.
And this sound is always different. It is unrepeatable.
No, zdaj še naslednji čudež, vse je zvok.
And then the next miracle, everything is sound.
Tudi materialni svet.
Even material world is sound.
Samo materija je relativno nizka frekvenca. Bolj ko se višamo, bolj gremo v duhovne sfere in v sfere duše in zavesti.
But matter has a lower frequency, but the more we rise to the higher we rise, the more finer are the frequencies.
Bolj smo na nivojih duše, duha, eterskih teles.
Here we are at the level of etheric bodies, spirit, soul.
In zato je zvok eden najpomembnejših orodij, da poveže naš fizični svet z duhovnim svetom.
And this is why sound is the most important tool to connect to connect the material world with the cosmic world.
Zato so ga uporabljali v vseh kulturah kot svečeniško, zdraviteljsko orodje.
This is why sound was used as a priest healer's tool in all cultures.
In ko povežete to tudi s kirurgijo, s kozmično kirurgijo, dobite posebno kirurško orodje.
And when you connect sound with cosmic surgery, you get a very special surgical tool.
Zato pazite, kaj poslušate.
So pay attention to what you are listening.
To, kar zveni danes iz naših medijev, iz radija, televizije in tako naprej, nas uničuje.
That which comes today from the radios, from the media, is destroying us.
In čisto vseeno je, če nekdo posluša neke zvoke destruktivne v prvem nadstropju vaše stolpnice, vi pa živite v 10.
And it is all the same if somebody is listening to these destructive sound on the first floor and you live on the 10th floor. It's all the same. It affects you nevertheless.
Ne slišite ga, to da deluje na vas.
You won't hear this sound, but it has an effect on you.
Ko pridete domov, pa ugotovite, da se zelo slabo počutite. Kaj nekje je narobe.
But then after coming home, you soon realize that you're feeling very bad and you don't know what is the problem.
Predtem ste mogoče bili še v veleblagovnici, kjer so vam na glas vrteli neko destruktivno glasbo in zvečer ste uničeni.
You might have been to a supermarket in which you heard a very destructive music.
In kar je najbolj žalostno, danes vrtijo v bistvu destruktivno glasbo celo v bolnišnicah.
And what is most sad, this destructive music is played even in hospitals today.
Ja, in ljudje se sploh ne posvetijo temu, kar se dogaja v njih, ampak gledajo fuzbal, pa gledajo ne vem kaj.
And people in hospitals do not concentrate on what is happening within them. They simply watch football or look around and listen to this music.
Kajti vsaka bolezen, še enkrat, vsaka težava, tudi v odnosih, ali pa če nimate dovolj denarja, ali če nimate službe, je problem v energijskem toku.
Because all diseases, every problem we have, even if you lack money or if you have problems in your relationship, everything derives from a energy blockage. There is a problem within this free flow.
No, in tisto, kar je morda v tem trenutku za nas najtežje,
And maybe something which is most difficult for us in this moment, at
je
this
to,
moment,
ja, da smo pozabili na staro modrost,
is
starodavno
that,
modrost.
is that we forgot this ancient wisdom.
Stara modrost izpred tisočletij je bila ekološka.
The ancient wisdom dating back thousands of years ago was ecological, organic.
Bila je usmerjena ne samo v pridobivanje materialnih stvari, ampak predvsem v ekspanzijo, v druge ravni duha in vesolja.
It was not concentrated on piling material goods, but it was focused on attaining higher levels, higher dimensions of sound and spirit.
Sound?
Of spirit.
Okay, spirit only.
Only
Spirit
spirit, yeah.
in ostale razsežnosti
And
vesolja.
other dimensions of the universe.
Ja,
Yeah.
medtem ko zvok je umestnik, on je pa medij med otepljivim in neotepljivim.
Whereas sound is an intermediary. Both audible and inaudible sound is just an intermediary for us to attain different dimensions of the universe.
Seveda bi lahko govorila o mnogih stvarih, tako o dobrobitih, kot tudi o pasteh bretarijanstva.
I could speak about many things, also about benefits and traps of breatharianism.
To je morda za kakšno drugo predavanje, oziroma mislim, da v avgustu bom to govorila za romunske kolege.
I will speak about this in August for our Romanian colleagues.
Zavedati se morate pa nekaj, da čeprav se zdi v tem času zanimivo in celo moderno,
it might seem in our time something very modern and popular,
morate
and
vedeti,
interesting.
da ni enostavno
You have to know that it is not easy,
in da poti nazaj ni.
but there is no way back.
Vaše telo odvadite te običajne hrane in ne morete mešati.
Your body is no longer used to this usual food, and you can't mix.
Ne morete mešati, ne morete dati v peč, v kateri je gorivo plin, trdo gorivo.
If you have a gas stove, you can't put wood into a gas stove.
Ni mogoče.
This is not possible.
Zato v bistvu mogoče res na začetni fazi nekateri še to mešajo, kasneje, ko ste priklopljeni na kozmično hrano, je to nemogoče.
Perhaps in the initial phase you can still mix a little bit, but later when you are switched to this central system, mixing is no longer possible.
In predstavljajte si, kar naenkrat vam zadiši en 100% džus.
And imagine, all of a sudden, 100% juice smells really gorgeous to
In vi ga
you.
z velikim užitkom popijete,
And you drink it with delight.
na kar vam je slabo za umret.
But then you feel nausea
In dobite
die.
3 kile gor.
and you gain 3 kilos.
Tudi od kozarca vode.
Even if you drink a glass of water.
Če si pa privoščite in se slučajno znajdete v prostoru, kjer so kadilci, bi pa raje umrli, kot bili tam.
But if you find yourself in a room with smokers, you would rather die than be there.
Ker dobite strašen glavobol,
Because you get
slabo vam je in čistite
Headache.
ta en mesec.
a headache, you get nausea, and you have to clean all of this for 1 month
And
almost.
so on, and so on. Mnogo je takih stvari, ki jih je treba vedeti, zato jaz zagovarjam spontani prehod. Ko se zgodi, se zgodi. Ne morete kupiti, ne morete naročiti.
Many things you have to know about this. This is why I'm an advocate of a spontaneous transition. It happens when it happens. You can't buy it, you can't know it.
Takrat ste pripravljeni, pa je še vedno težko.
Then you are ready, but it is still difficult.
Ker tudi ko delate s kozmičnimi energijami, postajate vse bolj senzibilni.
When you work with cosmic energies, you become increasingly sensitive.
In vedno manj stvari, ki ste jih še včeraj lahko, ne morete več.
And you cannot longer do things which you did only yesterday.
Tako da postanete neizmerno ustvarjalni in svet je čudovit.
And you become immensely creative and the world becomes wonderful.
Edina stvar, ki me na tem planetu skrbi, je to, kako bom vse svoje ideje realizirala.
The only thing I worry about on this planet is how will I realize all my ideas,
Ki prihajajo.
which keep coming down.
Ja. Tako da, in dejansko moram reči, da sem se naučila tudi o neki napaki, ki jo lahko naredite, ko ste priklopljeni na Cosmical Source. Ja.
But I also learned about a mistake which you can make when you are switched onto this cosmic source.
Imate neizmerno energijo, ste neizmerno ustvarjalni. Jaz sem spala po 3 ure, 24 ur sem delala vsak dan.
You are immensely creative, you have a huge amount of creativity. I slept very little, like 3 hours per day.
Ostalo sem delala, ves čas.
But I was working the rest of the
In
day.
dogajalo se je, da sem v 24 urah skanalizirala knjigo,
And it happened that I channeled a book in 24 hours.
ali pa moram pisati celo noč.
Or I'm compelled to
Ja.
write a book for the entire
Ni
night.
šanse, ne, potem pišem celo noč, zato da lahko vsaj 2 urice zaspim.
And then I write the whole night to be able to sleep for 2 hours maybe then afterwards.
Ja, in lahko se zgodi, da greste preko meje.
And it can happen that you cross the line, you overwork
Ko
yourself.
vidite, da ste utrujeni, kljub temu morate upoštevati svoje meje.
When you see that you are tired, you have to respect your limits.
Če jih ne spoštujete, se lahko zlomite.
If you do not respect your limits, you can break down.
Okay. Do you have some questions? Reči, da jim želim. Oh, ja. Wait. Microphone.
It's actually about what you said last. It's interesting. This happens to me. It's just working and working. It used to happen. And I was wondering, if prana is flowing non-stop through the body, fueling every cell, why do I get tired?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, this is very usually a question. Energy is flowing, but your physical body has limitation, and you must respect physical limitation. Did I say it correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Ja, to je to. Ne? In jaz nisem. Jaz sem še več in potem sem pardon. Zdaj pa
I
govorim
did not
slovensko.
respect my limitations.
I didn't
kept
respect
working
this.
and working more and more.
Yeah, and you must respect because you are also in physical body. And I never send some kako se reče prošnja,
A request, a
request
prayer.
to the universe to give me something. Everything was spontaneously. But sorry? Slovenski?
Slovensko. da govoriš.
Ok, slovenski, I just speak slovensko. Torej, nisem upoštevala teh meja in sem potem začutila veliko utrujenost.
I did not respect these limitations, which is why I felt greatly tired, very tired.
In morate upoštevati te svoje limite, kaj vaše telo zmore. Ko čutite utrujenost, morate prenehati.
You have to respect what your body is actually able to perform, to do. You have to respect the limitations. Otherwise, you will break down. The body will break down.
Just a moment. In en možakar v Sibiriji mi je lepo povedal, mi je rekel, zakaj ste vi doživeli tako visoko starost in vam je tako, mislim, zdravi ste, nobenih problemov nimate?
I met a man in Siberia and I asked him, why have you reached such an advanced high age and you don't have any
Imel je
problems?
120 let,
He was 120 years
pa
old
verjetno jih boš imel še kakšnih 50.
and probably he will live some 50 more.
In je rekel, vedno, ko sem bil utrujen, sem prenehal.
And he said, whenever I was tired, I stopped.
And this is big wisdom.
Yes.
Yes.
What happens
Try.
happens to me is I don't feel tired when I have work to do. You know, where in that
Yeah,
flow,
because
you
you-
go and go and go.
Yeah.
And after the flow stops, the body is like,
Ja, but is something else also. Ko vi postanete medij za prevajanje te kozmične energije, vaše telo tega ni navajeno.
When you become a medium for channeling cosmic energy, your body is not used to this.
Zato čutite tudi rahlo gomazenje, srbenje po koži, ker je koža zelo občutljiv organ.
This is why you will feel itching and pins and needles on your skin, because skin is a very sensitive organ.
In ko nehate, v bistvu ste potem, moram reči, da je ta energijski tok zelo egocentričen.
This energy flow is very egocentric, in fact,
Zato, ker teče, dokler vas rabi.
because it keeps flowing until it needs you.
After that, I'm tired. Zakaj? Ker ne delate več ne zdravljenja, ne kirurgije, ne nečesa za druge. Kajti delati s kozmično energijo pomeni služenje.
Because why? Because working with cosmic energy is serving. And you work for others, for the benefit of other people.
And
on
when
the
you are
planet.
working for others, you are in connection. Yeah, and the energy must flow.
Flow,
Yeah, but after that, you must rest. So, you must rest. It's okay? Yeah. Another question?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Tudi, ko jaz delam kirurgijo, jaz sem lahko, ko se reče, crknila, predno začnem. Zato, ker sem že od dela utrujena. Ko začnem delati kirurgijo, bi gore premikala.
I can be dead tired when I start performing
Sometimes.
because of work I did when I start performing cosmic surgery. But when I start performing it, when it starts, it it
No,
goes
I think that I can move the mountains.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
After that, yes.
Sì, intanto grazie per essere qui.
Hvala, da ste tukaj.
Ja.
thank you to be here.
Volevo sapere se queste operazioni riescono a rimuovere anche placche metalliche.
I would like to know if this operation surgery can remove the
Metallic.
Ja,
Okay.
metalske ploščice.
metal
Yeah, yeah.
plaque. I don't
Ja,
know.
plak,
how to say.
ploščice, ja.
Yeah. In the bones.
It depends of you.
Sì, a seguito di fratture alle ossa, fratture ortopediche.
When you broke your bones.
It depends of you, again. Zato, ker kozmična energija, ko vstopi v telo, mojstri začnejo zdraviti tiste, ki si to zaslužijo.
Because when cosmic energy enters into enters your body, cosmic entities, masters, heal those who have earned this.
In lahko se zgodi čudež in zginejo, se stopijo ploščice, ali pa ne.
A miracle can happen and these plaques can disappear, can dissipate or not.
Did he understand? No, Nives, translate him. Ja. No, in ja. Ja. Bom še naprej odgovorila. I shall answer or something else. Zdaj, pogosto se zgodi, da imate veliko težavo. Ja? Sometimes
It happens sometimes that you have a big problem, a great problem.
mogoče imate raka.
You can have a cancer.
Mogoče ste onemogočeni, čisto invalidni.
Maybe you're disabled.
Zakaj se lahko zgodi, da nekdo shodi?
So why it can happen that somebody starts walking again?
Zato, ker so višje sile to odločile.
Because higher forces have decided.
In te sile lahko
so.
imenujemo božanske, lahko imenujemo kozmične, kakor hočete.
And we can name these forces divine forces, cosmic forces, whatever you prefer.
Moram reči, ko sem zdravila, sem doživela neverjetne čudeže. Lahko vam jih nekaj povem.
When
Do you want?
when healing, I experienced incredible miracles. Do you want that I tell you of some of the miracles?
Prišla je deklica, par let stara, s starši, no, ki je imela vse organe na napačnem mestu.
A girl, a couple of years old, came and she had all her organs displaced in her body. All organs were on the wrong place.
Starši so, mislim, da so nekaj časa redno hodili na kirurgije in na tečaje, vikend tečaje.
Her parents and she came to
Yeah.
the courses regularly for some time.
In vse se je uredilo, kar je bil medicinski čudež.
And her state was improved. Everything got harmonized, and this is a medical miracle.
In iz Hrvaške je prišel nekdo, kjer so mu rekli zdravniki še par ur življenja.
And there was somebody from Croatia who was told by the doctors that he has only a couple of hours to live.
In jaz sem začela delati kirurgijo nadaljavo in človek je živel še vrsto let.
And I started performing surgery at a distance, and this man lived for several years after that.
Nekdo, ki je imel sladkorno zelo visoko, mu je padlo na tam, ne vem, koliko 16 ali koliko mu je padlo na normalo v parih dneh.
Somebody who had a high level of diabetes, his the number of, I don't know, 16 fell to 0 in only
No, 0, 4 and 5, what is
4 and
normal.
5 to a normal degree, sorry, yeah, in only a couple of days.
No, ampak ena taka lepa izkušnja, no, da morda še to podelim z vami, je bila prišla je ena moja soseda, ki je rodila dete in je rekla, da ima deklica prirojeno srčno napako.
Another experience,
One beautiful experience.
one beautiful experience. My neighbor came. She gave birth to a baby girl, and this baby girl had a inborn heart
Zaklopko.
mistake. Her heart valve had a
In je
problem,
rekla, da mora iti čez 2 dni na operacijo.
and the girl had to have an operation in 2 days.
Jaz rekel, glej, poskusiva, morda bo šlo po naravni poti.
And I said, let's try. Maybe we can do it in a natural way.
In jaz sem začela delati na njej to kirurgijo in v nekaj dni je bila deklica zdrava.
I started working, performing cosmic surgery on her, and in a couple of days the girl was healthy.
In to je medicinsko, to so stvari, ki so medicinsko potrjene.
And these things were confirmed by the medical profession.
In tisto, kar je bilo zelo lepo, v njenem kraju smo potem koncertirali, ko je ona že zrastla, to je bila, in je prišla, ko je imela 18 let.
And then years after, we had a concert in her town when she was 18 years old, and she came to the concert.
In postala je čudovita.
And she became a wonderful
Postala
person.
je pesnica,
She became a poet.
našibala je vse svoje vrstnike,
She surpassed all her peers.
ker predtem je bila zaostala, ker se sploh ni razvijala za te zaklopke.
But before that, she was backwards because she did not develop due to this heart valve problem.
In postala je ta pedagogika.
She became a Waldorf teacher.
In prišla se je po 18 letih zahvaliti za nekaj, kar je dobila, ko je bila stara 14 dni.
And after 18 years, she came to give thanks for what I did, for something that she received when she was only a couple of days old.
Nekomu so hoteli odrezati bobnič, pa se je rekla, stop, počakaj malo.
Then another case, doctors wanted to cut into a person's eardrum, and I said, no,
Počakaj,
come
dajmo
on, let's
najprej
wait. Yeah.
napraviti. Ja, pojdi najprej na suhi post, brez hrane in tekočine.
And I said, first take our dry fast without liquid and food,
In vse se je
and
normaliziralo.
everything got settled and
In
harmonized.
zdravnica je napisala notri, je napisala v kartoteko, naj še naprej dela, kar dela.
And the doctor wrote in his medical record, he must continue with doing what is he doing now, because it obviously helps him.
Potem je prišel nekdo, ki je bil ves razrezan, da je imel raka po celem telesu, čisti bil razrezan, pljuča, želodec, vse je imel razrezano. Je prišel in ta rak se je ustavil.
Then another person came who had cancer all over his body, and he was cut. His organs were cut out, literally.
Not all, part
Not
of.
all,
Part of.
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah. But he got healed. He was cured.
Ja.
Yeah.
In potem je šel čez 1 leto, je šel na kontrolo
And after 1 year, he went to a medical check.
in zdravnica ga pogleda in reče, what? You are still living.
And the doctor looks at him and says, "What? You're still alive. You're
Ja,
still living."
still alive, ja. And so on. Yeah. Sam, another question? Yeah?
You spoke about benefits and traps of
Oh,
vegetarianism.
yes.
What about the
This is
traps?
a much,
Yes, I know.
many things to talk about.
Yeah.
No, jaz zdaj zaključujem knjigo o teh mojih izkušnjah.
I'm finishing a book about my experiences.
And Andra is...
I am translating it.
in to poletje bom dokončala, kjer bojo tudi te stvari o dobrobitih in pa benefits and
Traps, yeah.
traps
I will
about
finish
this
it.
way of life. Many things, many things. I told you some only. Be careful, be pozorn.
Attentive, watchful.
Yeah.
And all these things will be described in this book, which I will finish this summer. So you will be able to read all about benefits and traps, because there are many things to say about this.
V prvih letih, lahko povem samo to, v prvih letih, ko greste na tako življenje, je vse wonderful.
I can only say that in the during first years of after your transition, everything is wonderful.
Everything is wonderful. And you have so many energies, of course. Ne, ogromno energije imate občutek, da lahko naredite vse živo, ampak so tukaj tudi pasti, ki pa ne morem več na kratko govoriti o njih, ker niti ni dovolj časa. Nekaj glavnih sem povedala.
You have a feeling that you can do just about anything. You have a huge amount of energy, but after a few years...
Se začnejo kazati tudi druge stvari, na katere morate biti pozorni.
Other things show up or resurface, and you have to be attentive to these things.
In to ne morem povedati v parih minutah, zato je potrebno več časa.
And we need more time
Ja.
to talk about this. I cannot describe this in
Povedala
just a
sem
few
samo
minutes.
najpomembnejše stvari.
I said only the most important things.
Ja. Okay. Okay. Okay, bye. So, you can stay if you want. We shall play a little for you.